Hello, welcome to this week's assembly. For the next few weeks, we're going to be telling you stories about some brave women in the Bible, women who dared to do right. One day, in the land of Persia, long, long ago, the king was looking for a new queen.
And so he decided to have a competition to find the most beautiful woman in the whole country. Out of hundreds of women, he chose a girl called Esther. Let's find out as we open the book and read Esther was a star.
Esther was a star, a beautiful Jewish girl chosen by the king of Persia to be his queen. Esther had an uncle called Mordecai, who was very kind. When Esther's parents died, he raised her as his own daughter. And when she was made queen, he warned her not to tell the king that she had come from one of the captive lands.
And so the king was clueless. He loved Queen Esther, but he did not know she was a Jew. Haman was horrible. He was the king's right-hand man, and he loved nothing as much as pushing people around. One day, Haman was walking through the city when he met some of the king's other servants. "Bow before me," horrible Haman commanded, and they bowed, all except for Mordecai, Esther's uncle. "I will bow before no one but God," said Mordecai. Haman was furious, and he went straight to the king to seek his revenge. "There is a troublesome race of people in our land," he said, "who worship a different God. They are the Jews, your majesty. Give me your permission, and I will do away with them." The king was clueless. So he told horrible Haman to kill every Jew in the land, not knowing that he was condemning his own queen. When Mordecai heard the news, he went to Esther. "Go to the king," he said, "and do what you can to save us."
"But I have to wait for the king to invite me into his presence,"
Esther explained.
"If I go to him without his invitation, the law of the Persians says that he has the right to kill me."
"You must go anyway," said Mordecai, "whatever the risk. God puts people in places at just the right time, so they can do what he wants. God has put you in the palace to save your people." Esther was a star. So Esther went to see the king. And far from being angry, the king was delighted to see her. "What do you want, my darling?"
"I want to have a dinner party. And I want to invite your right-hand man, Haman."
The king agreed. The date was set. And horrible Haman was happy. He'd been building a horrible hanging machine in his garden where he hoped to murder Mordecai. And the queen's invitation made him happier still. But when he got to the party, horrible Haman was suddenly not so happy.
"I have had some very sad news today,"
said the queen with tears in her eyes.
"Someone wants to see me dead. And not only me, but all of my people too.
"Who is this person?" shouted the king. "Tell me, and he will soon be dead instead,"
There he is,
said Esther, and she pointed at Haman. I don't understand. Haman trembled. I have nothing against you,
Yes, you do.
said Esther.
For I am a Jew, and you mean to kill us all.
The king was no longer clueless. He saw everything clearly now. He loved his queen. He did not care that she was a Jew, but he was very angry with Haman. "Put him to death," the king ordered. And so Haman was hanged on his very own hanging machine. But Esther and Mordecai and all their people lived on to return to their own land. And all because Esther was a star.
Well, Esther, Mordecai, and all their people were saved. Just imagine how the story might have ended if Esther hadn't been brave enough to speak to the king.
Esther's uncle was wise enough to see that God had placed her in the palace at just the right time. He encouraged Esther to trust God and speak to the king.
Close your eyes and think about the times when you are scared to speak out. Perhaps God can help you to be brave like Esther too. Now Christoph is going to say a prayer, and if you want to make it your prayer, say Amen at the end with us.
Oops, crown is getting in the way. Dear God, Esther must have been very scared going to see the king. Thank you that you helped her when she was frightened. When we are frightened, please help us to speak out too. Amen.
Amen. Well, we are going to close this assembly with a song that fits in with the theme. Be bold and courageous. We have sung it before. You might remember it. And maybe you can do a bit of dancing with your shoulders, with your face.
Let's sing it together.
There are some actions. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you. Oh, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. When troubles come, the Lord your God is with you. He will always be there by your side. He is strong when you feel small and frightened. He will never ever be alone. Oh, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you. Oh, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Don't be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Wherever you go.
Thank you so much. Really good for us to experience those assemblies together. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you very soon.
Yeah, next week, I think.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.